I'm very pleased to rise on this matter of public importance. I, like others on our side, do find it very bizarre the opposition have put forward this, because we all remember when the Liberals and Nationals were in government. We all remember the extent of all their cuts. Yes, that's exactly right. Whether it was aged care or health, no matter what it was, right across the board, cuts to pensions. But look, I'll detail that a bit later on. What I want to talk about is what we on the Labor side, what we think about our older Australians and why we're very proud to deliver for them. Let's always remember these are the people that built our nation. They worked hard, paid their taxes, raised their kids, and that's at the heart of everything we do to deliver for them. And of course, it's quite extensive in terms of our funding increases and assisting older Australians, whether it's lowering cost of living pressures, whether it's expanding healthcare access or aged care as well, all major areas we've invested in. Let's look at healthcare first. Stronger bulk billing right across the board by tripling the bulk billing incentive. So many older people can actually access a bulk billing doctor now, and they couldn't do that before. Cheaper scripts have made such a huge difference to all the general population by capping it at $25 and freezing it for those pensioners and concession card holders at $7.70. Urgent care clinics, amazing. I know so many older people in my electorate. It has made a huge difference for the health care that they need, and we know obviously older people do need to access health care more. So we have continued to deliver for them. We've also got workforce incentives as well, other cost of living relief, Commonwealth rent assistance. That's 40% higher than when we first came into government. That assists so many older Australians. Our deeming rate adjustments, our energy bill rebates, and of course all of our reforms to aged care, which have made such a huge difference, and our indexing of the pension as well. Now, as we know, we are really getting on with the job of delivering once-in-a-generation reforms to deliver high-quality aged care services to older Australians. And again, let's look at the record of the Liberals and Nationals. Now, they did establish the Royal Commission into aged care, and the interim report, tabled October 2019, just needed one word for the cover. What was that word? Neglect. And that really summarised their time in government when it came to aged care. In the Commissioner's own words, the Coalition left behind an underpaid, undervalued and insufficiently trained workforce. And that's what we inherit as a government. Yet our record investment, we're investing $47 billion in aged care, the largest investment in our nation's history. And those investments are right across the board in terms of residential care, in terms of support at home and in terms of workforce, nearly $18 billion to fund the largest pay increase in the history of aged care. Again, all we saw were cuts from them. Let's turn back the clock and just go over some of those cuts that they had. We'd all remember before the 2013 election, they were then crying, oh, if they got into government, no cuts to education, no cuts to health, no changes to pension. What's the first thing they did? Cut all of it. And it was horrific with these cuts. And in 2014, they tried to introduce a GP tax, and I know many older Australians in my area remember that. They cut $57 billion from hospitals. They tried to cut pension indexation. They tried to increase the pension age to 70. And always remember, when the Liberals and Nationals, they teamed up with the Greens and cut the pension for over 370,000 pensioners. And I can tell you, every one of those people in my electorate remember what they did with them. And we know how devastating that was. We also know that the Liberals and Nationals, you know what they want to do, and they talked about it a bit, they want to bring back the cashless debit card, and oh my, what an impact that will have on pensioners. And that still worries people in my electorate. They know they want to bring it back, and we know what that means. 80% of their pension pay will be put on a privatised cashless card. They had it in government before. They wanted to expand to pensioners. We got in and we got rid of it. And I know pensioners are very, very worried when they talk about doing that. Now, of course, it's not just the Liberals and Nationals, but people in my electorate are also equally concerned about the other Conservative party, One Nation. And we know now they're just sort of a conglomeration of these three parties all trying to, outdo one another. Well, we know, we look at One Nation's policies, they want to have cuts to the PBS. How devastating would that be for our older Australians? We also know One Nation MPs have voted 15 times to cut or freeze the age pension. They've also voted many times to make GP and specialist visits more expensive. So all we can say when we look across there, the Liberals, Nationals, One Nation, what are they going to do? They're going to make cuts to health, to aged care, to pensions. The Greens helped do that as well, so can't trust them on that. But this is the fact. Conservative governments and Conservative parties make cuts that hurt older Australians. We've seen it time and time again. It's only Labor that continues to deliver for our older Australians, whether it's health, whether it's aged care or whether it's pensions, because we will always stand with our older Australians.